Good evening, Rabotai. Moadin Simcha. Very important to know the laws of Yom Tov. We'll speak a little bit about the laws of Yom Tov. So we'll speak about the laws of Yom Tov. A person has to know that from the Torah it was originally forbidden to go and to light a fire on Yom Tov. However, the Chachamim made it forbidden in order that a person should not do something that looks like a melacha. People see you lighting a fire on Yom Tov, so even though you're doing it for a food purpose, and ochel nefesh is permitted to do melachot for food purposes, permitted to do melacha, certain melachot Yom Tov. If people would see you light a fire, so it would be too much. It would be considered too much of an affront, and people would not understand the difference, and therefore they would chas v'shalom come to do melacha. So the Chachamim forbade it. So therefore, it's called nolad molid. So therefore, that's why they forbade making a new fire on Yom Tov. However, if a person takes an existing fire and to go and connect to something else, to create a new fire from that existing fire, that will be permitted. Flame to flame, esh le'esh is permitted on the Yom Tov. However, a person has to know that in a situation where, let's say you don't have an existing fire, all your fires went out, and you need to light a new fire, since on Shabbat lighting a fire is from the Torah Asur, but Yom Tov it's only the Rabbanan. In certain situations, if there's a very big need for a mitzvah, then you'll be allowed to ask a goy. You'll be allowed to ask a goy for it to turn on the fire for you, in order because it's the Rabbanan. Asking a goy is the Rabbanan. Shvud, makom mitzvah will be permitted. So therefore, it's double the Rabbanan, and you will be able to ask the goy to turn on the fire for you on Yom Tov, not on Shabbat. Now, in a situation where you want to light a fire from existing flame to existing flame, obviously for food is a permitted reason. Let's say a person wants to light ner leilu nishmat. That's also a permitted reason on Yom Tov to take esh to esh, fire to fire. Or let's say a person needs a candle, so in case other fires in the house go out, at least we have another fire to take from. That's also considered a purpose. That's also considered a reason. Or let's say you're in the dark and you need a candle for light. That's also another reason. But lighting a candle from candle to candle for no reason, that is asur. That there's no permission to do that. And then even let's say the stove. Let's say a person is cooking on the stove and he wants to cook on Yom Tov, which is permitted from an existing flame. But the question is, can he raise and he lower the stove? So to raise the heat obviously is allowed. The question is lowering it. You're extinguishing a fire is also not permitted. But if it's going to burn the food, you're allowed to lower the food while the pot is on the stove. But lower the flame while the pot is on the stove. However, you're not allowed to turn off the flame. Once you lower the flame and you're done cooking, take the food off, take the pot off. You can't go and turn off the flame now. So in the Poskim, they speak about a little bit about how to solve this issue of the running gas. If a person could boil a small container, a small pot, and let it overflow to put out the fire. Some say it's practical, some say it's not so practical. Then that would be the one option to turn off the fire. And once the fire is off, you could switch the gas off. You could turn the knob. But to ask a goy to turn it off, it has to be a real need. Just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean that it's a real need. It has to be makom tzorach gadol. It has to be there'll be a danger, there'll be a sakana. There's a very big reason why a person needs to turn it off. Then he will be able to use the goy to turn off the fire. But otherwise, extinguishing a fire, Shulchan Aruch also says, is asur on Yom Tov as well. So the person has to pay attention to these halachot on Yom Tov. The Hizuk Berditchever, he was famous for inviting all these random people to his Sukkah. He used to have the troublemakers and the gamblers and the people up to no good in his Sukkah, and his students always used to wonder why. And one time he told them, he said, listen, one day we're all going to sit in Sukkah of Leviathan, and the Mashiach will come, Bezat Hashem, the Olam Haba, and the only Sadiqim go inside over there. And I know I'm not on the list. I know they're going to tell me, Levi Yitzchak, you're not on the list. But you know what I'm going to tell them? I'm going to tell them I brought any different person to my Sukkah. I wasn't nitpicking, I wasn't selective. And if I let those people in my Sukkah, you got to let me in your Sukkah also. So the way we judge others is the way they will judge us. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen. Amen.